Hi everybody, we're going to draw a picture of Zim today using Inkscape. Look down below, there should be a link to Inkscape. It's free for the PC and the Mac. Once you've installed that, there's also a link to Zim, and you're going to go to File up above, and it says Import. Import that picture of Zim onto your picture. Now it'll be on layer 1, as you can see layer 1 up there. If you go up to layers on the left on the menu and go to layers, it'll bring up that dialog box where it says layers right there. You can bring up your dialog box. It has all your layers on it. So you can add a layer. And I'm going to add a layer because I want to draw on one layer and Zim's going to be on another layer. So that way I can see what I'm doing and I don't mess up my picture. So if I click the eyeball on my layer, you'll notice that Zim goes away, but Zim's still there. I just can't see it. So I'm going to lock this layer. But first of all, I'm going to make the layer transparent. Wrong layer. Here we go. There we go. So that layer is going to be transparent because I'm going to draw below the Zim layer, and my drawing is going to be below it, so that way I can see it through the Zim, so I don't have to get rid of it to see what's going on. So I click on, I'm going to lock that because I don't want to move Zim around as I'm drawing stuff, right? Okay, so we're going to zoom in, and the first thing we're going to do, this is a little bit different technique. This is kind of maybe a technique for people who don't draw very well, or who don't want to mess with worrying about lines and straightness and curves. We use the pen tool there, and I'm going to just click on all the points, which are the corners of the drawing. And what I'm doing is I'm clicking on the black outline. I'm thinking about the black as a piece of paper in the back, and I'm going to cut out the black first, and then I'm going to do the green and the other colors. The reason I'm doing this is because eventually I'm going to show you how to make a Zim t-shirt using a vinyl cutter, and then you can just put this on your t-shirt. And a vinyl cutter needs shapes in order to make colors. So I'm going to make a black shape first. And I'm just going all to the corners. You notice that? I'm not really worried about getting the exact spot. I'm just making my points here. And I'm going to come back and do this in a minute and show you how to arrange this. So there's my basic Zim's black shape of his face. I'm going to make that black. Now notice I can still see Zim because Zim's in front. So now I'm going to use my editing tool, and that's up here, right here on the, well, let's zoom in on the antenna up there. And I'm going to go to my editing tool. Now all I have to do is grab the lines and move them around. So first of all, since I didn't have my points exactly right, I'm going to move the points around. I'm going to get off my Snap 2 up there. And I'm going to just move these around to make a match. I can grab the line, or I can grab the little controls there to move that around. I can't remember the name of that. I'll have to look it up for you. Anyway, so I'm moving the points and kind of matching the point. And then I'm dragging the line to that so I can move those points so they kind of match the antenna. Now, obviously, there's a lot of, judgment on your part here about how you want it to look, and it's all up to you, obviously. You can try to make it look exactly there if you want, but there's some basics you might want to pay attention to on how these lines work. You want to make sure they kind of have some continuity between one part of the drawing and the other. So now I'm just finishing it up. Notice how this little line right here is not quite right, but I'm kind of give it my own bend there. Once again, we're just clicking on the points and we're moving our nodes around, and then we're going to drag the line to make sure it fits it kind of where we want to put it. And it's kind of easy. Once you start making your own drawings or something, you have your own pencil drawings or ink drawings, something like that, you very easily scan those into Inkscape, and then you can make your own type of designs and color it your own way, which is kind of fun. This is also handy if you don't have a tablet or a stylus. You can make some pretty interesting drawings, as you'll see here. As we get along here, we'll put some more shading on Zim and show you how to do some different things. So once again, what I'm doing here is I'm just making sure those lines match. And you can scroll up and down with Inkscape with your mouse wheel. I'm not quite used to that. I've only been using Inkscape for about a year, so I've been learning some new stuff. And if you see some things that you might want to give me some pointers on, I'd be very interested to hear what you got to say, because there's a lot of things I don't know about it. I've been using CorelDRAW for about 20 years, and I saw this Inkscape free program, and it's really been a great little program, and I've used it in my classes that I teach, And I think that it'll do almost anything you want to do, especially the SVG format. And we'll show you how to use, for example, a vinyl cutter. I have a Silhouette Cameo vinyl cutter, and we'll show you how to put this into a vinyl cutter and make your own t-shirts and all that kind of stuff, which is a lot of fun. Of course, you'll need to have a vinyl cutter, and you'll need to have a heat press. But once you get that, it's pretty cool. Make any kind of t-shirt you want and make it in just a matter of, once you got the design done, make sure you do it in a matter of seconds. Well, a minute. You could probably do a 2-color shirt once you've got all the vinyl prepared. It's kind of fun. And we'll show you how to at least start that. And maybe I'll get myself a heat press. I have one at school, but I'll get you a heat press, and we can show you how to do the whole thing from start to finish. This is kind of fun. So anyway, what we've done here, we're creating the black outline. And a lot of times people see this as an outline, this black section. But I don't see it that way. I see it as a shape. And that way I can change the colors. I can change what it looks like. I can change how it interacts. And that way it's easier for me to create a t-shirt or some other kind of graphic. That's why I do it this way. And after doing this for a lot of years, it seems to me like, for me, it seems to be the best way to go. Okay, you can see here, there's my outline of the black. But I need to fix this hair up here because, antenna. And there's a little piece there that needs to be cut out. Well, that's pretty easy with the Inkscapes because I'm just going to draw another shape here. So I'm going to click on the corners, on the points. And, this is kind of a skill you'll learn eventually on what points or where and how to do that. Always start with a few points and see if you can make your shape work, and then always add more points if you need to. You can double click on one of these lines and you can add a point. But more points are more complicated. I would very recommend that you only start out with just a few points as possible. Now, my shape there, I got it in the right spot. But you'll notice that it's not quite done yet because I want to make this a single shape. Now, I'm kind of, I don't like the way this line looks. See that? I want this line to look like it moves up and it's one piece. So I want that line to have some continuity there. So there's different ways to do that, but we'll try it this way for now. I'm going to move this point up a little bit. There we go. Kind of make that match. Make this match down here so it matches. There we go. So it kind of flows through from one point to the other. Now you'll see here, I'm going to make this a different color as a point because this is just a piece now. And I want to cut this out of there. So I click on that, hold the Shift key down, and then I click on the other one. While the Shift key's down, I click on two things. So click on it. Oh, I need to fix this a little bit. I don't like the way that looks. There we go. And once again, we got the control right there. Move that line around. There we go. That looks about right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut that out. So I click on it and then hold the Shift key down. You'll notice it looks about right. Click on this, hold the Shift key down, click on the black area. Now I have two things selected down here. See down here it says two selected. Now I'm going to go to Path, and I'm going to Difference. Now you can use the keyboard shortcuts if you want, but I'm not using those right now. So now I have one piece here, and that's basically being cut out of the black. And to illustrate that, let me make a little box. And let's see, I'm going to put this box behind it so you can see it. And what am I looking for? Oh, yes, up here at the top, move to the back. Now, now you'll notice that this is behind the black, and now I can see the background that is now a see-through piece. I've cut that out. So let's take a look, see what we got. And click on this little right here, and I'm going to, there's my layer of Zim. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to draw the green part of his face, and that's another piece on top. And now I've kind of sped this up a little bit, but it's the same steps we did before. We're going to click on the corners, but now you'll see I'm clicking on the inside. And yeah, I'm going kind of fast. If you need to pause it, that's fine. You can do the inside of Zim. But you notice I'm doing the basic shape of the face. And I've got the shape there. Now I'm going to use the editing tool. Once again, I'm going to shape this is also sped up so you get an idea. So if you need to, you pause it and get caught up. But what we're doing is making these shapes work. And once again, it's your judgment about how this looks. A lot of these other parts I like to zoom in and make sure it kind of fits. And I want to make sure, oops, gotta Control Z that one. I'm matching this eyeball. I don't like the way that looks, but I'm going to leave it the way because that's the way the Zim character is looking. But the eyeball at the bottom there doesn't quite match. So anyway, I've got my face, well, kind of done here. And what we need to do now is we need to look at these other shapes. So let's take a look, and now we're going to change this and make this green. Now we're back to regular time. And let's go back here, click a green here. Now we got a green, and let's get rid of the Zim. Now I got my green face. But notice I have the eyeball missing. So the same way we did the antenna, now we're going to cut out the eyeball the same way, so that we're going to have a green shape with the eye cut out of it like a piece of paper. So think about that. I don't want to put a piece of paper on top of it. I'm going to cut out the shape of the eye so that I can see it, the black through the green. So first of all, we're going to do this kind of Harry Potter kind of looking thing here he's got on his forehead. So it's kind of a lightning shape. And we're just going to quickly do the points there and get that done. I'm going to change that to black. Let's get rid of the outline. I don't use outlines because I don't like them. I can't control the way the line is, and that's why I do it this way. Anyway, so let's make this now. You notice what I'm doing here is I'm dragging it out a little bit because I can't see the shape there. So if I drag it out, then I can drag it back in. I can see where the shape I'm trying to get to. That's why I'm dragging this thing out like that, the corners out, so I make it match as well as I can. So yeah, that's I'm happy with that. Let's zoom out now, and we're going to do the eyeball. And we're going to start the same thing. We're going to click on the points again. The eyeball is kind of basic. I chose Zim for the reason that there's a lot of straight lines. There's not a lot of curves. We'll do the eyeballs. You'll see what I'm talking about with curves. But you can put all this. See, I can put as much detail as I want. I put that little notch at the top of his eye there. I'll leave that in. Get a little bit of a character. Okay, now I've got that. I'm going to change that to black and get rid of the outline. Don't like outlines. I'm right-clicking on the X and hit set stroke to nothing. So now I'm going to shape this up. The reason I don't like outlines, is because I can't control them. I can't control the width, and I can't control how they look, and I can't control how the shapes of the lines as well as I'd like. Now, if I use a sketch pad, I could probably do that a little bit better, but it's just nice to have the control of the vector-based objects. So I got my eyeball here, but you'll notice it's a separate piece, and I don't like that. I'm going to cut that out of the green. You'll notice that the green, if I drag the green up a little, off to the side a little bit, you'll see what I'm talking about. I dragged it over now. Notice the eyeball doesn't come with it because the eyeball, I have three pieces. I have the green piece and the eyeball, but I want to make that all one piece. So I click on it, hold the shift key down, click on the other one, and path, and I'm going to difference. Now it cuts it out. Doesn't seem like it's changed, but if I drag my green over here, now I see the black's been cut out of the shape. Okay, so that's nice because if I change colors and things, I'm going to do the same thing with this forehead crease. Click on the shift key down and difference. So use the keyboard shortcuts if you want. Now I've got that little notch cut out of his forehead there. Now you'll see here I can change the colors and move things around. It works great. Now that's the end of Zim1. Zim2, we're going to make the rest of his face. Please check out Zim2, and I hope this helps you, and I appreciate you listening. Any comments, please let me know. And thanks for showing up. See you next time.